Hello again. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm stressed, but good stress, you know. Anyway, let's go for a walk and talk some crap. So as you don't already know, my home is solar powered. 9.6 kilowatts of solar. We have 2 Tesla power walls totaling 27 kilowatt hours of storage. We've just spent the last few years renovating and removing all our gas appliances, removing even the wood fire heater which you had before, and turning the place into a 100% off-grid home. We've obviously solar, heat pump and water systems, batteries, 2 EVs, and full induction electric modern hyper kitchen. So yeah, I'll let you know about that a bit later, possibly in another video. But for now though, what's been happening around the world? Well, it's pretty obvious really if you don't know what's going on in America. But in the EV space, not much unfortunately, because other things happening in other parts of the world, unfortunately, but there has been some news which is pretty good for Australians. So let's crack into it. Well, if you're in the market for a new Hyundai, good news. Apparently there's a $20,000 discount being offered on the Hyundai EV6. The one that actually looks like one of the early model Porsches. They've always looked better in real life than they have in the pictures for some reason. I've never liked them in the pictures, but after seeing them in real life, they actually look pretty good. Vehicle to load, I do believe, 240 volt power outlet in the back seat, which is even better. But yeah, offering a $20,000 discount if you get in well early. Tesla Tom just did a video on it as well. So I'm not sure how many are left, because there's only limited numbers. I think there's like 230 of them or something. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, the catch is, and of course there's always a catch for $20,000 discount, you have to go through Hyundai Finance. So whatever the interest rates they're going to charge and whatever terms and conditions they're going to throw in on that, you obviously got to abide by those. But to sweeten the deal, in other words, make that catch a little bit less a catch, is you get $1,500 credit with EV charging. And you also get a 3 home charger chucked in with that as well. I'm not sure if that includes installation, because that can be expensive depending on your living situation and what you've got. But yeah, $20,000. I do believe there's also a discount on the Hyundai Kona, which is only $5,000, I do believe. But again, it's through the, you got to go through Hyundai Finance. And again, you get the $1,500 credit with EV charging, and you get the free wall charger, I do believe, as well with that. Now, the reason they're doing this is, as some would say, EV sales are collapsing, it's proof EVs are a scam, blah, 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 or the usual troll crap. New models are coming. How do you get rid of the old models? Make them cheap, people buy them. Especially if somebody just wants an EV and is not fussed about having to wait around with for the new model, the Streisand effect and all. So yeah, some decent discounts made by Hyundai at the moment now, but are limited numbers. As we know, Hyundai, Kia aren't renowned for bringing in huge numbers of EVs in Australia. They tend to drip feed into our market. Whether that's so they can keep the prices up, who knows? But yeah, with those numbers and people like Tesla Tom also promoting it, and it's not, it's common knowledge now. So give your local Hyundai, Kia dealer a call and see what you can do if you're interested in that sort of thing. Speaking of EV prices, second-hand EV prices are in free fall apparently, according to this story here and Cars Guide, which is good if you're in the market for a second-hand EV. Especially, like $20,000 discount on the new Hyundai Ioniq 6. So yeah, second-hand market is prices free fall, which some say, again, the trolls will usually bring out and say that is a terrible thing. That's why you don't want to buy an EV. But to be fair, if you're buying an EV for a resale value, don't buy an EV. Buy shares, invest in a business, buy something else like that, gold, silver, who knows, anything, crypto for crying out loud if you want. But yeah, you don't invest in a car unless you're buying something that's extremely rare and already extremely expensive. So second-hand prices means cheaper cars for you, which is great. Our EVs will be coming on the market very shortly too, and I know we're going to lose some money on that. Actually, no, we paid $9,000 for it 8 years ago. We're going to give it a wash and a polish and everything else. But yeah, our one is coming up for sale because we're moving rural. And as I said earlier, we're on that later. But next story. This next story is interesting. It's about an MG. I think it's called an LM or an L6. Hang on, let me check. I got notes here, as everybody does, because no one's got a memory as good as mine. Let's see. What was it? It says MG. Okay, according to the Driven. The IM L6, that's it. It's been spotted charging by, once again, our good friend Tesla Tom. Or Ludicrous Feed, sorry, he's now known. But yeah, charging spotted at Chatswood. Yes, charging spotted at Chatswood. Anyway, it is a SAIC IM L6. A yoke steering wheel apparently, I'm not sure, I can't see in the photos that I have up here. Rumoured to be 0 to 100 in 0.2 seconds, no. That would kill you. 0 to 100, 2.7 seconds. And the largest battery option is rumoured to have a flying range. 1,200 kilometres of range. Well, really? 1,200 kilometres. That is the Chinese cycle, and it is the large battery option, which is, I think, 125 kilowatts. That's a big battery. So you want to charge that pretty quick. But yeah, I do believe the smaller versions come in at 600 kilometre range, with the average, the middle range coming in about 750 kilometres of range, which is not too bad. I mean, petrol cars are barely struggling to that now. But for what I have here is based on Chinese prices, starting from $48,000. Obviously, that's the short range wheel drive, low spec version. So what the 1,200 kilometre range version will get, which has a rumoured solid state battery, is obviously going to be more than that. But yeah, good news. Also puts the final nail in the coffin for any petrol car lovers out there, and petrol shills, what do they call them these days? I get called an Elon shill all the time. A Tesla shill. Not that he's ever paid me. But yeah, 1,200 kilometres of range. Not many petrol cars can do that now, so that's a final nail in the coffin for that argument, which is fantastic. Oh yeah, speaking of Chinese EVs in Australia, the Sea-Line 7. 2025 Car Expo in India, it is another SUV. Comes in two specs, 82 kilowatt battery with 567 k's of range, and the smaller version rumoured to be 430 kilometres of range, so it's not too bad, it's still pretty good. Comes with 450 horsepower with 609 twisty torques, and an all-wheel drive model, 0 to 100 in 4.5 seconds. 4.56 of a second of 1 minute. The Premium has 313 horsepower and 318 chicken twisties, and is rear-wheel drive only. So yeah, the Sea-Line 7, another SUV, but yeah, it's better than the Ute, I guess, and it's EV, and it looks like it'll be coming to Australian shores because it's now being rebuilt in India. As for pricing, I'm not sure yet, I can't find anything yet. Oh yeah, again on the Chinese EV things flooding Australia, which is great news, especially if that fly, I'm sure he appreciates it, is Deepal have now expanded their dealer network from Parramatta, Artarmon, Melbourne, Doncaster, Perth, Jarvis, I'm not sure where that is, West Terrace, Adelaide, Jarvis, okay, Brisbane. And Polestar now have dealerships in Adelaide too. So if one of the arguments or one of your sort of doubts about buying a Deepal or some other sort of Chinese brand like that is lack of service centres, well, don't fear so much. There's actually quite an extensive list of dealers opening up. I do believe they're partnering with the importer that also services Subarus and Suzukis, that sort of thing. But yeah, so if you're looking to buy one of those cars, you're going to have a service network in other places, which is great news. Speaking of other fantastic news, this concrete, it's cured quite well, so that's good. Oh yes, that's it. 2030, the petrol and diesel ban is still in force in Europe and the UK, 5 years away. Now, what is that going to do to EV prices? EV prices? Probably not much. It might actually make them go up if people start getting desperate and wanting to buy new EVs, demand, supply, that sort of thing. Price might go up, who knows? But what's it going to do to the price of second-hand petrol cars? Now, we all know the argument, I'm not going to buy an EV because of depreciation. You know, sucks that you bought an EV, how much money are you going to lose in depreciation? Sucks with your resale value. Be honestly, I don't give a shit. I've owned I'm even now for like 9 years. I could give it away and we're still out in front. Tesla I've had for 5 years, it's still probably lost half its value, which is about on par with every car in Australia really. So depreciation, as I mentioned earlier, if you're factoring that into buying a car, don't buy a car, lease one or something instead, so you don't take the depreciation hit. But anyway, what's that going to do to petrol car prices, and especially second-hand car prices? I mean, I think it's going to initially jump the price up because a lot of people are going to want to buy the last of the petrol whatever. People are going to want to buy second-hand petrol cars cheaper because obviously they probably can't afford a new one, because they want to keep it for as long as possible, want to get the newest model. So I think second-hand prices are probably going to skyrocket in the first few months after that, or year. But then once those people sort of get over themselves and start buying EVs, because that's all you can buy, I think the second-hand market's going to collapse, because especially in 3 years, because those lease vehicles, which are all petrol cars, will be the last of them. Which means all those lease cars are going to flood the market. And the only option is to buy a EV. So you're going to have a lot of petrol cars, diesel cars out there on the market with no one wanting to buy them, which means really cheap petrol diesel cars. So what do you think about that, how that would work? How would that affect the market for petrol cars? Remember, it's just 5 years. Will it destroy their resale value? Will it increase it a bit, lower it? What do you think? What will it do to EV sales? Will it increase the second-hand value as people want to buy more second-hand EVs because maybe they can't afford a brand new one? I'm not sure. Anyway, let me know. Comments below, as they say. Anyway, so yeah, back to the house. The house on the market, we've accepted an offer. Now, our plan is we're going to buy a house in a rural area, somewhere in Australia, somewhere cold, maybe Blue Mountains over on Plateau. We're looking at 5 to 10 acres. But also what we're going to do is we're going to take the house off grid, completely off grid. Probably might have grid backup, depending on the situation, depending on the costs involved. But we're looking between 20 and 30 kilowatt hours of solar panels, and we're also looking at maybe 2 or 3 power walls. Now, in the last probably 6 months, we've been slowly buying up batteries, Samsung lithium batteries. We now have about 48 kilowatt hours of battery storage, and it's cost us, what, about $6,000 just for that 48 kilowatt hours of battery alone. So we've got some interesting stuff coming. So I'm going to start making content about that, about the house, about the batteries, and other weird projects we're going to do, automating the property. Maybe make some automated snow cleaners from the solar panels. We don't know. But interesting times ahead. So as they say, with the news out of America, my heart goes out to you. Not so hard, is it?